besties, welcome back to my channel. My name is Oge, and on this channel I share real life relocation stories and opportunity to help you move abroad and build a better life for yourself. So today I'm joined by an amazing guest who transitioned from being a nurse in Africa to becoming a registered nurse in New Zealand while raising a family. Please join me as I welcome my guest to the channel. Welcome to the channel, Grace.
My name is Grace, and I live in New Zealand at the moment, of course. Yeah, I think that's it. And then I'm honored to be on your platform, okay? So, yeah, that's me.
Thank you for the honors to be on my podcast today. And so today I'll be asking you just, simple questions, just so we can get to know your story, right? So Grace, can you tell us where you were practicing before as a nurse?
Okay, so I grew up in Nigeria, and that was where I started to practice as a nurse. Yeah, and my nursing journey is very funny. So I didn't start the usual BSc way. I started with School of Midwifery, nursing, and then I started working, and I moved to, I worked for some time in Nigeria in different parts. I worked in private practice, and later I joined the government hospital. And I think that's a bit of, so I would say I kind of worked in Nigeria for a bit before moving to New Zealand. So that's my nursing in summary in Nigeria.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Thanks for sharing that anyway. So what made you decide to move to New Zealand?
Okay. So my husband got an admission, and so to study basically.
Okay.
I came with him. I think for me, as a person, I didn't have the choice. I couldn't choose if I wanted to be in New Zealand or not. But
So essentially, your husband got admission to study. Was it PhD?
Yes.
Yeah, PhD in New Zealand, and then you moved with him. Your background has always been a nurse, right?
Yes, very.
Yeah, and you've been practicing.
Yes.
Correct? Yeah. And you had a child at the time, correct?
Yes.
Okay, that is great. So what is it like? Let's break it down. What is it like? How you were a nurse in Nigeria, Africa, and now you are a registered nurse in New Zealand. Can you just take us through that step, if you don't mind to share?
I think, of course, I don't mind. It's different nursing in Nigeria. Okay, can I just give you a backstory of how I became easy?
Of course, definitely. You want the floor.
Okay, so like I said, I worked in private practice first, and then later I worked in the government hospital. So when my husband traveled, I knew that, of course, I was going to travel with him. And so I started making preparations and things like that. And then I missed my preparation. I didn't do an English test. But I just knew that it would be different. It's going to be, I know that nursing in Nigeria will be a bit different from my New Zealand experience. But by the way, I still felt like, okay, I think I should be fine. Yeah. So I left and I came to New Zealand. But mind you, I didn't start work immediately. So when I came here, I got every shock, career shock, lifestyle shock, moving abroad shock, and New Zealand shock. It's just shock. So anyway, I started with my English test, and then we needed a seven in reading, writing, speaking, and reading. I didn't get seven the first time.
So let's not rush into this, right? I want you to take us step by step. Okay.
Right.
So, with my understanding, you had moved to New Zealand with your husband because he got an admission, right? PhD admission, and you were a nurse in Nigeria. You moved, anyways. Okay. So now starting all over again in New Zealand. So the step you took was the first thing to do was to write an IELTS test. Is that correct?
Yeah. Sorry. So it could be any English test. It could be OET or IELTS. Yeah.
Interesting.
So I chose IELTS because that's the most common one on YouTube. Then, like, you could easily find resources for it, and then in Nigeria it was IELTS. So I just went for it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good to know, though. So you had two options of English test, but then IELTS was the most common one, right?
Yes.
Let's use that. So if other people want to, they can decide to do. What did you call it? The second one.
So it's occupational English test. So I found out that my my colleagues here that were from other countries actually did that OET. Like, it was easy for them because it was more of their profession, asking them about their profession. So, for example, they could ask you as a nurse, what is a fracture? Which they are trying to, two things. Mostly, I think it's your English, and at the same time, it will be more comfortable for you because it's in the area you are familiar with. But at that time, I didn't get a lot of resources on it online. So, because... yeah, so that's it. But yeah, IELTS was more common to us here, coming from Nigeria. So I just did that one without really thinking too much about it. It was when I failed the first IELTS that I thought maybe I should do OET.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you do it?
I didn't do it because another thing is it was more expensive than IELTS. And there were not so many centers in New Zealand as at then. Mind you, this time it was around 2016, 2017. Maybe just one center then in my area, unlike IELTS that I had different centers for it. So I thought, okay, I don't know. I don't think this OET will be my best choice. So yeah, so I had to do IELTS again.
Okay, so if I may ask, how many times did you do it again?
So I did it thrice.
2 times.
It was the third time I got my perfect 7777.
Okay,
But
so it has to be 777, or it has to be an average of 7.
no, it has to be at least 777 in the 4 areas. Yeah, reading, speaking, writing, listening. And then, of course, if you get 7, then your aggregate will be 7. Or if you got like 8, 9 in one area, they just needed that 7 band, and then the average, 7.
Okay, so just for more clarification, so if the band is 4, and I had like maybe 9 in one band, the next one I had 6, and 7 and 6.
So at that time, it didn't make it.
It has to be 777.
Yeah, it has to be 7. Even though you had 9 in one part, but you had 4 in another, it didn't. They didn't want it. I mean, it was Nursing Council New Zealand standard then.
Okay,
it has changed now.
Okay. What's the changes? What's the changes now?
So the last time I heard was you could actually have 6.5 in writing. So which is a good thing because some people struggled with writing. And so Speaking for us, I think coming from Nigeria, Africans, our speaking can be really clear. So we might not have that problem with speaking if you are just a regular Nigerian, just speak clearly. But maybe writing for some people, and that reading, you're not just reading like, oh, I'm reading a newspaper. You are mostly reading to understand. So you get a passage, you are given a passage to read, and then you answer questions based on your comprehension, if that makes sense.
So thank you for sharing that. Just want to ask, okay, so now that you have your English, you passed the English tests. So what did you have to do? What did you do? Like, what is the bridging program that you had to do to now start practicing? I don't know. Maybe you just want to, take us through, and yeah.
Can I say whatever I'm saying now is about 7 years old, because I started even more, like 8-9 years old. So it might not be consistent with the current nursing council, but of course I'm just sharing my own story. So yeah, so when I passed the English test and I started doing my credentials, gathering everything I needed, I already did that anyway, because I was doing English test, so I knew what the nursing council wanted, the requirements. So I did that, and I presented everything to nursing council. So they will give you a portal, and that portal you can put stuff in there, your documents and all the rest. So I did that, and and they got back to me back and forth, and they were telling me, oh, this document, can you get it signed? Oh, can you do this? Can you do that? So back and forth information. And eventually,
so did you do a kind of an entrance test, or apart from the English test, did you do any other?
So when you give all your documents to nursing council, so they will assess it and say, oh, okay, because you're coming from of course, for lack of a better word, developed country, there's a bridging program that you have to complete. And this bridging program was different schools offer that program, and it depends on their curriculum, really. I mean, on their outline, but usually it's the same nursing council curriculum. So they will send you a letter saying, oh, thank you, Grace, we have assessed and we are happy, but we want you to go for this bridging course between this year and that year. So they will give you timeline that you have to do that bridging program. And I think they gave me 1 year.
You have to pay for it? Do you have to pay for the course?
Oh, of course you have. You have to pay for it. I don't know if it still applies. At that time, I paid, and the schools are different. So some schools are more expensive, especially because I lived in Auckland. So the schools were more expensive than the schools that were in maybe some other towns, because those towns will encourage you to come. So the ones in Auckland are like, oh, we are the big cities, so you have to pay more to stay here. So so the ones I stayed in Auckland, I got another one cheaper, but maybe then like about 7,000 New Zealand dollars. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention price. Is that okay?
So it's been like 8 years, 9 years ago, so it could change. The price might not be the same anymore.
Yes, that's right. And even the process has changed. Now they don't do all the bridging program, they just do OSCE. So it's different now. But
what's
then
OSCE again?
OSCE is like a practical nursing. So you are hands-on, but an examiner is looking at what you're doing. So there's a question in front of you to maybe talk to this patient, for example. And so the examiner is seeing how you are doing, is observing you, is assessing you based on how you are relating with that patient or with that thing, or how you are explaining things. So it's more of hands-on now. So that's what they do now. But then that time, you just go to that bridge, that school. It's usually for 3 months. So for mine, it was 6 months in practical and 6 months theory classes with a lot of assignment, presentation. And mind you, Nigerian system is different, where you read, you study, and then you prepare for an exam, right? But this one, they'll give you assignments to do, presentation, because they believe that when you read that thing, when you provide reference, you know, you have done your research, you will know it more than when somebody else is teaching you. So that's the New Zealand system. I just had to throw that in. So yeah, so after 6 weeks, they will now send us to the practical work. By that time, I'm already feeling like, oh, it's like my nursing in Nigeria is different from New Zealand nursing. So the way we interact with patients, first of all, it's different. So I began to unlearn and relearn, if that makes sense. I didn't do everything at that point, but I knew that, oh, okay, I have to step up my game. Yeah. So that's the
yeah. So talking about the school, the bridging program that you did, you said you didn't mention that the school varies, and it could be Auckland or any other part of the country, or the city in the country. So because of the costs, right? If it's like someone that cannot afford the price in the cost for the program in Auckland, and they decide to move to another city to do the program, does it matter? Like, will it affect anything, or would there be any issues, or is it still the same?
So I will see it in different ways. So if you're living in that part of the city, for example, you live in Wellington,
okay,
and maybe the school in Wellington are saying 10,000 New Zealand dollars.
Okay.
And then there's a school outside of Wellington that says, oh, just come, we'll offer you $7,000.
Okay.
There are things to put in place. So where you are going, you're going to get accommodation, right? So you are moving your life from one place to another. So if you do the maths, okay, if I stay here, it's 11,000, but I already got accommodation. I don't have to be looking for. I know the transport system. I know how the city works a little bit. But you are completely transporting yourself to a new place.
Yeah.
I see that, okay, it's different. The price is different, but that means I'm looking for a new accommodation. I'm getting to know what happens in the town, how the transport system works. Yeah, all those things. Then, if you are a single person, you can decide to move to any part of New Zealand, because then we thought, oh, when you move outside the city, you are likely to get job quicker than someone who is in the city. I'm not sure if that is true right now, but then, so people encourage you to move outside where it's overcrowded, because you are likely to get job. But consider that I'm already a family person. Moving means taking my whole family. So those are the things you consider. And then, yeah, if you're ready to stay outside the city, that's fine. Some people like it, like, somewhere we call countryside. So they are okay with just
quiet area.
People like, they don't want the busy life of the city. So
system,
yeah.
Makes sense. That makes sense. So what I just want to know now is, so when you went through the program, like a year program, and you passed.
It was not a year program.
Oh, sorry.
The timeline was a year. Nursing Council gave me a timeline of a year to find an admission, because if I don't, then I will have to reapply again. So they just gave me a timeline to say, within 1 year, find a school where you can do this, your bridging gap. But the course actually was for 12 weeks. But for some schools, because they don't, I was allowed to work. It was like a part-time for me, but not the 6 weeks that I was in that I was doing my practical. That was full on. But for the theory classes, it was not every day. It was, I think, 2 or 3 days in a week. So I was still allowed to be flexible. Mind you, there were assignments. You get it. So yeah, it was just 12 weeks. But for some schools, they just put everything together and make you finish at 8 weeks. Then you don't have to, you can't do anything apart from study.
Weeks for the program.
Yes, they shrink it to 8 weeks, but it's going to be 8 long weeks. And when you finish that, you have to pass. Like if they assess you, mind you, you have been doing assignments, you have been doing presentation, they have been seeing you, how you are doing, and then they see you in clinical areas because they don't tell you they're coming, they just come. And then they ask the supervisors, how is she doing? Is she getting on well? He or she, whoever. So yeah, they are monitoring all those things. Then I remember we did one test, and that test we had to get 100%. So this test was in the class. Yeah, I think that was the only test we did because it's a pharmacology test. Pharmacology is just drugs, like your calculation of drugs, your knowledge of drugs, because that's the main thing you are going to be doing as a nurse. You are going to be doing more of administration of medication. So they want you to get 100% in that. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to take you back a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you applied to the school for your prison program, did you do like an entry test to get the admission?
No, I think they're already satisfied with whatever nursing council has done on your behalf. So they want to see the copy of the letter. And so, yeah, when they see that with other things, they're going to ask you. I remember then I was made to do immunization, to get some immunizations because they feel is one of the requirements, which I did. I think that was hepatitis B, and measles, and because they know
you got the vaccine.
Yes, I got the vaccines because they knew you were going to be exposed in the hospital. They just want your body ready for whatever is coming. And of course, then you are going to the clinical area. So they want you they don't want you to fall sick, if that makes sense. So they tell you all of these things, and you don't need an entry test. So you just get admitted into the school straight away with your nursing council letter in your hands.
Okay. So I don't know if this makes sense, will make sense to you, but then have there been any like, for example, if the candidates should go through this program and at the end of the day they did not do well, what happened?
Oh yes, of course. They are going to, at the beginning, they have been noticing things.
Yeah.
They will be telling you, okay, do this presentation again, do this assignment again. At that point, you are beginning to suspect, okay, think something is wrong. Then they will get a counselor to talk to you and say, oh, you're not really doing very well. So yeah. So at the end of the day, when all these things keep going on, they will just tell you, maybe we are going to extend your program. Yeah, we have some people that had to extend the program and they were very polite and very kind with it, and they will show you why. Yeah. So yes, they had, and some people had to stay maybe extra 2 weeks just to catch up on whatever they had missed. Yeah. And those school will be responsible for responding to nursing council and saying, oh, this student, we are still doing some assessments. And so, yeah. So, yes, you could
pay for the extra weeks that they extended.
No, I think my school, they were gracious. So you don't pay more, but the extra effort, the extra sleepless night that you have to go through is enough stress for you. So I don't think you pay more.
So just for my my besties, my people that are watching and would have interest, they really have interest in this. So that's why I'm bringing you to this podcast. And so in your case, you do not have a degree in nursing.
So when I think I missed that part out of my story.
Okay.
So when I came to New Zealand,
okay,
and I was still trying to get my feet, find my feet, I was doing IELTS, and at the same time I was doing my online degree. So I did get a degree.
You had a degree online?
Yes, I did. So it was 2 years, because when I submitted my transcript to the school, they felt like, oh, you've done a lot of courses. So yeah, I just did a 2 years.
So for someone coming from another country, for example, Africa, and they don't have a degree, yeah, and they want to become a nurse, like they want to, practice nurse, and also they don't have an experience. Yeah, right? Would it be okay to enroll for that degree and do the nursing degree online?
Yeah.
Or do they have to have an experience working as a nurse somewhere?
Yes, it was one of those things that were speculated in that online degree. You must have had a bedside nursing experience, because you know why? It's online, so they are not going to see you do all those nursing things. So they expect that you must have a nursing, and of course there are ways to do that. They will call your supervisor and get in touch. I think at that point they even came to Nigeria to verify. So yeah. You have to be a practicing nurse, maybe not bedside, it could have been just as nursing, facing patient. It could be something else.
How about caregiver?
How
about caregiver? Like maybe someone you're doing a caregiver, healthcare assistant kind of a thing. Is it different?
So that one doesn't have to deal directly with the nursing council, no. So if you are an experienced caregiver in any of the African countries you are coming from, there are organizations who are willing to take you, like they can assess you and just give them things. Give them your qualifications, and they can bring you in. I think
from
that was the. Yes, at that time.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not sure. Whatever I'm saying now, is not now.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely is. And your experience at the time, that's what is happening. Yeah.
Yes, they could bring you in. Yes. If you have a reputable organization that really needs your expertise, yes, they can.
Okay. So back to it. So you got the degree online. You did it for 2 years. Did you pay for it?
Of course.
Was it affordable? Was it affordable?
I think our currency, there are different countries in Africa, and so maybe our currency is different. But then I think it was a bit pricey, but it was manageable.
So did you do the course in Nigeria, or you did it here in New Zealand?
No, I landed in New Zealand before doing it, but I had started the process in Nigeria, so I had gotten the admission in Nigeria.
So the online course, is it a New Zealand thing, or?
So because it's online, it's everywhere. Your student can be all over the world.
Oh yeah, I get it now.
Yeah, because I'm not the only student from other countries. I met other students from South America, so we kind of drew that together. So yeah.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense now. Yeah, that is. So you can do the online course to get a nursing degree anywhere.
Yes, because I have done my nursing and midwifery in Nigeria, and I have practiced then.
How long did you practice for?
So I finished 2010. I would say to that time, maybe around 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd already practiced for about 5 years.
That's so much effort there. Okay, so thank you for that. Okay, so we move to the next stage now, right?
Okay.
So you passed your bridging program, right? And now it's time for you to apply to the nursing council.
Oh, so not apply to the nursing council. So when you finish the bridging program and you've passed, so the school sends everything you have written, everything you have done to nursing council, and nursing council gets back to you by giving you a licensed number.
That's it.
So that's it.
Wow.
That's it. They just say, they send you an email. Congratulations, Grace. You have passed, and as of today, you are a New Zealand registered nurse.
Wow.
With your practicing number. So that means now you can start looking for a job as a nurse. Yeah. Wow. So that was then. Yeah. I
used to think it's kind of, but then it is so straightforward. Like.
Yeah. You don't have to, when you are finished with the school, you don't have to do a thing. School and nursing council will liaise, and then you get an email saying congratulations. So you have that license, and and then you start looking for a job. So I don't know if you want me to talk about the job part.
Of course. Share with us.
So then you remember I had the option to go outside of the city, but I preferred to stay in. So I started the job search. And so it was pretty easy because the private spaces were more open than the public of hospitals, government hospitals. Then I really wanted to work in a government hospital, but they were not taking anybody that was not a resident at that time. Remember, I came on a work. Okay, I didn't say that before, but I came on a work visa. I was still on that work visa, and I tried applying, and they said, "Oh, sorry, Grace, we would love to take you," because our school also did something. They printed a list. They gave a list of our names to the government hospitals to hire us. So, which was the cool thing.
Really?
Yes. So we didn't even have to look too much. They were calling, "Oh, Grace, we've got your from your school. They said, oh, you've just finished. Congratulations. We want to hire you." But the moment they knew that I was not a resident, they just, "Oh, sorry, at the moment you're taking residents." So, but the private spaces, private organization like maybe rest homes, some what we call old people, where old people reside. Yeah. So they were willing to take me. I think they just hired almost immediately.
Is that when you got your license, you didn't have to apply for a job?
Two things. I had to apply for a job, but my school already submitted our names to government hospitals, one of them. Yeah, so it made it easy. But the stumbling block then was because I was not a resident of the country yet. By the way, things have changed with the government hospitals now. They can accept you with your work visa, which is, I think COVID changed things. But then they were really, we want you to work with us, but only if you are a resident. When I was doing my course, this bridging course you mentioned, if you were a resident, you were paying far less. So I had some of my classmates who were paying 1,500 because they are residents, New Zealand residents already. But because I'm still considered as an international student, I paid more. I think I paid about $10,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got a job. You got a job, right?
I got a job. I got a job in a restaurant. What will you call old people's facility? Yes, I got a job. Like almost.
What was the gap? Did it take you longer time to get the job?
No, it didn't. So let me just say this. So I finished in December, and we were asked to take a break and just expect nursing council to get back to us. Of course, it was holiday time, so by January, maybe second week, nursing council got back to us and said, "Oh, this is your license," and things like that. I think by third week or fourth week, I was already working. Yeah.
And what would you say about the stress? Is I'm not asking you to mention your salary anyway at the time, but then was the salary worth the stress, like the process that you had to go through? Is it worth it?
So let me tell you, sis, if you are coming in as an immigrant to a country and you're really looking to stay, the first thing that comes to your mind is not money at that point. You know you're going to get paid, but you just want to settle. Yeah. I think, at least for me then, I just want to have something doing. I've left nursing, and my first excitement was, thank God, I'm back to nursing. So of course the wages at first was not encouraging, but the fact that I could get up and go to my nursing job was intriguing to me. And the more you grow, the more the money increases. So,
yeah, of course.
yeah, I think it was okay compared to where I was coming from now. In Nigeria, we were paid monthly, but here you are paid hourly. So, though you get to do more work, but you know that, whenever they tell you, there is an extra, can you stay behind for extra 2 hours, 4 hours, or can you come on a day that you are off? You're going to get paid for it. So that one motivates you to kind of, come. And then the more you come, the more you know how to do things, the more you get familiarized with New Zealand nursing, really. So, yeah, I think at first it was okay. It was okay. Right now, so I was speaking to a nurse who just graduated, I think, last year. And then she was working in this old people facility. And she was telling me, when she told me what she's getting, I was like, that's impressive. So I think it's getting better.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good. So let's talk about how you were able to manage at the time you had a child.
Oh yes, in the midst of my online
and everything,
my IELTS, yes.
Yeah, how did that go for you? Like, was it too much?
So it depends on your mindset, okay? Yeah. At that point, yes, I felt that this is a lot because I was not doing the job I wanted. Mind you, I was working, but I was working as a healthcare assistant. At one point, I got tired of working as healthcare assistant. I moved to a hotel. I moved to childcare. I was just moving around because, of course, you have to earn some money to just stay. Yeah, just keep soul and body together. But I think my mind was, if I start my nursing, I think things will get better. So keep going, even though I was writing my IELTS over and over. But I just, that nudge. And of course, we have family around. There was my family, church family. Everybody was just saying, just keep going. So yes, it will be hard at some point. Sometimes you feel like you're crying because you don't know. I mean, this country, I was living fine where I came from. But now in this new country, I'm having to navigate all of these changes. But can I tell you, it didn't happen for everybody like that, but that's just my own.
Yeah, your story. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I was just going to ask you in maybe one or two words, what was the biggest challenge as a mother during the program?
The answer is in the question, really. When you look at it, the biggest challenge as a mom, because you have to juggle things together. You have to be, a wife. A wife was not really that. It was okay. But a mom that had 2 kids that were under 5. It was just, and the New Zealand system is different. When your child is under 5, they go to kindy. So you have to drop off, pick up. When you pick up late, you pay more, all those dynamics. So I think it was a big challenge. But of course, if you have your partner to help out with all of these things. And of course, some people had kind neighbors who could actually pick the child for them till they came back. Yeah.
Did you feel like giving up at some point? Like, this is just...
of course. There's sometimes, especially when I'm now in the school, and the pressure is you must get 100% in this course, otherwise you're going to fail. And I'm like, oh God, please. I was just asking for a lot of things because I knew that the pressure was there. I could not fail. I didn't have the time to go back and do extra work because a lot of things are on pressure. I put a pressure on myself that I must just do this one. So yeah, at one point I was just like, what is all this? I can just be an healthcare assistant and be happy. Yeah.
And I think I skipped this question. The fee, did you have to pay at once? Like,
oh yes, for international students then in that school, you had to pay at once. There was no payment plan because they don't know you. You are not in their system yet. So they can't trust you with payment plan and say, pay every month or every 2 weeks. No, you had to pay once. And the course is 12 weeks. So maybe if they allow you to pay, it will be twice. just pay 5,000 first and then the other. They didn't give us payment plan option. You had to pay before they accepted you, before I got my, what do you call it? Acceptance letter. They will see that alert first, or the receipt of your payments, and then you get the acceptance letter.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you another one. So what shocked you?
Oh God.
What shocked you the most after arriving in New Zealand?
That's a good question. So I feel like the shock was in so many ways. I think I was this, I don't want to say local, but I was just enjoying my hometown. I didn't really see, I was watching all these American movies, but I didn't put myself in that place to know that there are some things you don't say. You think it, but you don't say it. Unlike where I'm coming from,
That fact, right?
oh, you could say whatever. You could call people, oh, look at you, you skinny lady. Or you can say, oh, big for nothing. Or you couldn't say that here.
So you're joking about it now?
Yes.
Is
In
it?
Nigeria, we joked about it. We just said it, and both of us are fine about it. Oh, look at your hair. Look at your face. Gosh, you couldn't say that. I remember the first time somebody asked me, oh, am I gaining weight? And in my naive mind, I just said, oh, yes, I think you're gaining weight. And immediately I knew that, oh,
You just called me fat. No,
that was what the person said. That she twisted it. She said, oh, you called me fat. And so it was later, I think my husband and other friends that said, don't, it's a trap question. Don't do it. But I didn't know. So, yeah. And then another thing is, New Zealand is an English-speaking country. But when I came here, I felt like, hey, what kind of English are they speaking? Their English has this accent. Yeah. So I had to open my ears second time. Or sometimes when you are talking to me, their English is a little bit accented. They have their Kiwi accent. So it took me time to learn the way they talk. And then sometimes they say something like, oh, sweet ass, sweet bananas. I didn't know that it meant, oh, cool. I felt like, why would you say sweet bananas?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Oh, sweethearts, like that's cool. So I had to learn that, okay, they don't mean bad. And then another shock was, in Nigeria or anywhere in Africa, when they say, oh, Grace, can you help us do this? You can easily say yes or no. But in New Zealand, they will not ask you like a question. They will say, are you able to do this? And so your Nigerian men are like, no, I'm not doing, but they're actually asking you to do it, but in a more polite way. So that one didn't really come to me. I think I heard before, so I think that one ticked for me. And then, what else? Yeah, there was this culture of, are you happy?
Yeah.
So the way we rebuke our children and say, don't do that, they don't to their children. They say, are you okay? Are you happy? And if the child says,
something,
I'm happy,
what's
wrong with them? Yeah. So I'm like, oh God. So how do I correct my child in this environment? So it was a lot of culture. One more thing. So when they do a get together and they say, oh, bring a plate. I didn't know bring a plate was supposed to bring a plate of food. It sounded like bring a plate. I was like thinking, don't you have plates? But thank God I didn't even bring anything because I didn't know I was another person. So it was.
They're going to be fine with it, even if you don't bring anything.
Yes, they will be fine with it. But when you say, we like to say it as it is, where we are coming from. Bring a plate of food, or bring fish, bring rice, bring this. But they will just bring anything, bring any finger foods, later finger food was not okay, but they would say, bring anything, bring a plate. Bring a plate sounded like bring anything, but I didn't know at that time. So I started to learn how the culture is. And can I tell you, I'm still learning because there are some things that are, Yeah, the culture is a bit different, but I am trying to learn and at the same time not forget where I am coming from, if that makes sense. To immerse myself in the culture, but to remind myself that when you see me, what do you say about me? Do you say I'm an African or I'm, yeah, just trying to blend everything together.
So do you feel more valued as a nurse in New Zealand?
Valued in terms of what? You mean money wise, or you feel like
Money, like, comparing you being a nurse in Africa and you being a nurse, now you have the two faces, right? So would you say you are more valued with your profession and you enjoy what you do?
I will say it in two ways.
Okay.
So, like I said before, I said, do you think he's money wise or? So right now, I feel like my nursing here, I feel fulfilled. If that's a word that I'm trying to look for, I feel like I am doing nursing, even though the way I'm doing it is costing me a lot of more, like moving patient, talking to patient. I am learning more, but I'm feeling like I am contributing great care to my patients, which is good.
Fine.
Yes, it makes me feel fulfilled in that aspect. And then the number two one is, like I said, you get paid for what you do. You don't have this, where I come from, you work and sometimes you don't know if you are going to get paid. But here, you get paid at the end of whatever thing you've signed, weekly, monthly, you get paid. So that encourages you that if I go to work, I'm not worrying about, are they going to pay me? Are they not? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's good. Okay, for nurses watching this video right now and they want to relocate, might not be maybe to New Zealand or to any other country, because I know the similarity will not be too much in terms of the nursing program and everything. I mean, for other countries might be, I don't know, I'm just saying. Okay, let me just rephrase it. Maybe for nurses watching this now, and they want to relocate to New Zealand, what advice would you give them?
That's a good question. So, just come with open mind. Nursing in Nigeria or in any part of Africa is different from nursing in New Zealand. So come with the mind that I am going to unlearn some things, especially our patient nurse interaction.
Yeah,
it's not going to be like Nigeria or where you are coming from outside, in Africa. Be open-minded, be open to learn when they tell you, they're going to be nice to you when they correct you. Just accept it, no matter how many years you've been a nurse for, where you're coming from. Just come here with a heart to learn and be a better nurse. Yes, I think that's my summary. I might have bits and pieces, but just come to learn and to be an effective nurse. Do your best. To do your best. Don't come with the mindset of, I can say what I want, I can do what I want, I can come to work, I don't care. No, you are not going to be very a good nurse with that mindset. But for you to be the best, not because you're competing with anyone, but to even feel fulfilled, come with an open mind and to learn and to unlearn and to relearn. And that would be mine. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. And so again, for people, just an advice out there. So what would you say what would you say they should start doing today? Like, I want to relocate to New Zealand, for example, and I already have an experience working as a nurse. What would you say they should start like to do?
Don't be like me. Make research about where you are going to. Know about the country, know about the dynamics. You can't know everything, but if you're fortunate to get people that can talk to you about, speak to them. Yeah, just be busy getting to know about where you are going, and and speak to people.
What would be the biggest mistake to avoid?
Biggest mistake.
Was there any mistake? Was there anything you did and you'd be like, I should have done this in this other way?
I think for me, it would be, I didn't start, I allowed a lot of interruptions into my becoming a nurse in New Zealand. But if you're coming here to actually work, get to it. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, I can do. Honestly, I think New Zealand application looks like a straightforward thing. But if you're already speaking to someone that is not a lawyer, is an immigration, is not living in the country, it's just somebody maybe in Nigeria as well that's trying to tell you things, I think you should be wary of that. Yeah. Talk to people that live in the country, that are migration people, that can give you advice or advice. Don't be hasty to just want to do things. Settle down and find information and see what you're to do.
Okay, another one, the last question. So if you had to start all over again, what would you do differently?
I would have done my IELTS from Nigeria.
Wow.
Yes, because
I think there's a time frame. It has to be like a year.
It has to be in 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, but if already we've talked about, you know what to do, you know the country you are applying for, you know that I'm going to New Zealand, you've had a plan set. The last thing you should be doing before you migrate is do your IELTS. Why I'm saying that is, I try not to judge like, oh, IELTS is the same all over, but I think the grace they will give you as a Nigerian in Nigeria is different from somebody coming from Nigeria to New Zealand, especially in my speaking. So
I think it's basically same. Well, I don't know, but I think for other people, from some people, what I have heard, I think it's more harder to even pass an IELTS, the English test in Africa than overseas.
Okay, at this point, I wouldn't know, but you asked me about me.
Sure, definitely. It's you, yeah.
I think I would have, just the way I advised, I would have, okay, I'm going to New Zealand, made plans, talk to people, do my research, then before coming, do IELTS. Sis, if I had done IELTS before coming to New Zealand, because I know it's within 2 years, I would have tried, to get everything. I had the experience already, so it would have been easy to get into the system because I wouldn't want it to expire, so I would do everything in my power.
What about the payment? What about the money, the fees?
Look, sis, you can get the fee, you can borrow, because when you start working, you can get it back, as in you can give it back. It's just a phase, and some people, they come with a lot of money, who knows? And some people, they have to get other people to support them. Whatever way you can do it, that's why I say, when you now start working, you feel fulfilled. Now I can pay the people I owe back, and I can live for myself. I have enough to live for myself.
You don't even have to do any application to apply for jobs, That's the plus.
Yeah, then, now you have to apply.
Now you have to.
For nursing, now it's different. So if nursing council says, oh, congratulations, Grace, you are now a nurse, now you have to apply. because the government has changed. The government then was happy to, but here you have to apply at least.
But it's not going to be that hard,
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. But I've been hearing stories of some people that it took some more time. Some people got job immediately after. Some people did not. So
at least, let me say maybe 6 months max.
That's max.
Yeah,
that should be max. You should get something within. Yes.
Yeah.
You should get something before. Hopefully that time. Yeah. You should. Don't be afraid to start from the bottom. Like bottom that I mean is, you are going to be the youngest nurse. And by the way, they don't look at that. They see you as an experienced nurse. So the money might just be starting from but every year it increases. So it gets better. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay. So let's do a quick round. Okay. Yes. So tell us one thing you wish you knew before moving. I think you just said that.
I think I just said that.
Okay, yeah. And what is the best part living in New Zealand?
Oh gosh.
Like the best part living in New Zealand, yeah.
New Zealand is peaceful. It's a country of 5 million people. You can feel that everybody, are you alright? With their accent, are you okay? Are you?
Yeah.
They want to.
They have, they can have counselors that you can easily go talk to.
I know, yes, school counselors that you can talk to at any point. But don't overshare.
It can be about your work. It can be about your family. It can be any other thing. Just go talk to them for free.
Yes.
Just so you can be in a good state of mind to do the job, which is absolutely good.
New Zealand prioritizes your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
So they are really hammering on this work-life balance, even though sometimes listen. But New Zealand is peaceful. Yeah. If you are someone coming to New Zealand and you like peaceful environment, it's the place to be. Or you just use it as a stepping stone to another country you are going to. That's part too,
Yeah. And what is the hardest adjustment that you had to make?
Now I'm thinking, since I've been here for like 10 years now, so
just take us back. What was it that you had to adjust to?
I think I found it cold at first, so I was wearing a lot of layers. So the cold, I think the weather. Yeah, because my hair was coming off too at one point, and people said, the weather in New Zealand is not really, you have to really oil your hair, keep it in good shape. Don't just leave it because it can dry out. So, that was then. But now I think I know what to do. I know what to wear. I know what to do to myself.
Yeah, okay. And would you recommend this journey to other people?
Yeah, why not? If they are wanting to go out of their comfort zone and try a new place, why not? It might not be people coming from Nigeria, really. It might be people coming from another country. Maybe they are coming from the US, from the UK. And I think sometimes I sell New Zealand to those kind of people. For example, I can tell my family member, you are in the UK. If you come to New Zealand, I can encourage people if they are willing to just come to somewhere far away from home. I think one thing too is about the last question. Getting my African foods here was not really a straight one. So, but now we know how to just
At first you'd be like, where do I get my swans, my desert?
At first, but now I think it's getting better. Yes.
So, in conclusion, just give us one word. What would you just end this with? Do you have anything you want to add? Any word of encouragement or anything you just want to say to people that want to move over, or just anything?
Did you say in one word?
Maybe in a sentence.
I know it's a cliche thing to say, but trust the process. Be patient. Be patient. Coming to New Zealand, now that you are in New Zealand, and sometimes you have Nigerians, other Africans that you think they are doing great. Oh wow! Mind you, those Africans have been here for like, some of them long enough. So just be patient. We get there. You want all the things, the flashy things they have. You are seeing the way they are settled. They have their passport.
Yeah.
Just be patient.
Maybe turn by turn.
Yeah.
Everyone will get theirs.
You will get yours. Yeah. I think people.
Oh wow, this has been such an inspiring, like it's been an inspiring and eye-opening conversation. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. And okay, it has been such an inspiring and eye-opening conversation. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. And if you are a nurse or someone looking to relocate abroad, don't forget to like this video, share it to the person, and subscribe with someone who needs to see this. Okay, share it with someone who needs to see it. Subscribe to the channel, and I'm sure you would not regret it, because there are a lot of more educational videos coming up, guys, so do not miss this. And if you have any question, please drop them in the comment section and we will be answering them. Yeah, definitely I'll be answering them. And if you want to book a one-on-one section with me, just go to my link and book for the time, and yeah, we will have that section together. And of course, if you want to ask my darling sister and friend any question, just drop it and we would definitely have the right answers, or we would have a section with you if that's okay, and we would be able to help as much people as possible. And that would be it for today. Thank you so much, Grace, for joining my podcast today. I really appreciate this, because I know you are a very busy
you are very busy.
I think you're very busy,
happy to be here.
Yeah, because you're a registered nurse, it's not easy, because going through all this process, I'm like, okay, this is so much. Like, you really did well for yourself. Well done. Yeah, I really commend you, because it's not easy trying to build a career for yourself and also looking after kids and also being a wife, a mother. Oh, I know it's a lot, but then, and I know God has blessed you and will continue to look after your family in Jesus' name. Thank you so much. And I hope maybe next time when we have anything to talk about and I invite you again, you will be willing to come. Is that right? Yes, of course, because you cannot leave me. When I say I want you on my podcast, you will definitely come, because you love me so much, right? That will be it for today, guys. Thank you for joining, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your question in the comment section, and we will definitely respond to everyone. We'll try our best anyway, and if we cannot, just book a link, go to my bio and book the link to have a one-on-one section with me. Okay, then that will be it. Thank you so much, Grace, and I will see you again.